Well, thank you guys for being here. Obviously, really, it's a happy locker room. Our guys were really excited about the game today. For us, it was schedule-wise, it really worked out. You know, we had finals week last week, really didn't play as well against Prairie View, but found a way to win. And we had a full week of practice to really get back to the practice floor and iron some things out. We added a few things offensively. And continue to, when you're good at something, you can't lose sight of that. So continue to sharpen up the defensive end of the floor. And, I just thought we had a lot of energy. I thought we were fresh. We defended at a really high level. We have great respect for this team. They got a lot of transfers it's one of the oldest teams in the country and guys that have scored a lot of points in college basketball. And they've gone on the road and won. Coming into this game, they won at Minnesota, they won at Loyola of Chicago. So we knew this was not going to be an easy game, and we came in, and I just thought our guys for 40 minutes, on both ends, really put it together. It was really nice to see the ball go in too. We'd been playing great defense, but struggling to score, and hopefully seeing the ball go in will be a little preview of what's to come, because we're gonna need to have to keep shooting well as the competition continues to get better and better. So open for questions.
Chase had a monster game today. What did you think of his performance?
Just thought he was great in every way. I think the one thing about Chase is you guys are seeing he's really playing under control this year. He's such a competitive spirit. And as a coach, you don't want to rob a player of that, but as he's been a young player, there were times where maybe that worked against him, where you take some quick rush shots or you try to do a little bit too much in certain situations. I think if you watch him now, the discipline he's playing with, now added with the talent that he already had, and he's healthy. Which is great. I mean, he was never healthy all year last year. He's feeling good. His body's in a good spot. And I just thought he made just a lot of great plays today. Forget about making threes. That was awesome. I just thought his defense, his playmaking, what he allows us to do too now, the way he's playing, is we can get Boo off the ball a little bit and play him more as a scoring guard at times, and kind of interchange those guys, who's playing the point and who's playing off. And just really proud of him. He's someone that obviously takes criticism at times for the way he plays, and certainly as coaches we're on him, but you can never fault his effort, what he brings to the table, his competitive spirit, and it's just really good when you see him, play like this, and certainly it's going to be something we need. He had 5 steals. The 28 points is great, but the 5 steals, and I've been saying it about Chase. Like I don't think he gets nearly enough credit for being one of the top defenders around. I mean, his ability to guard different positions, his ability to get in passing lanes, get steals, rebound. Like to me, he's an elite defender and one of the best around.
Talking about those 5 steals, also with his defensive performance, Javon Johnson entered the game averaging, I believe, around 18 points for DePaul.
Mm-hmm.
Chase held him to 3, and I think 1 for 8 shooting. How much of that was scheme, and how much of that is Chase?
I think a little bit of both. The one thing about us, I'll give a lot of guys credit, we switch a lot. So I mean, Chase was on him a lot, and I don't want to take anything away from that. But we have a lot of similar sized guys on the court at times, and we do a lot of switching within our half court defense. And so I thought it was a collective effort. And what we say to guys is never come into a game that it's a one-on-one situation, like me against Johnson or me against Gibson. Like it's team defense, and that's what our guys are really doing well. We're pressuring the ball, we're getting the ball where we want it to go, and we're in the right spots, and we're making people take tough shots. And sometimes the guys, you're not going to shut a team out. They're going to make some tough shots, but if you continue to do that over the course of the game, I just didn't think we ever let Johnson kind of really get going. Him and Gibson, both those guys are guys that have had 30-point games in their career. So we had amazing high alert on both of those guys, and credit the team defense, for coming through on them.
Matt Nicholson got his first start of the season. What went into the process of starting him at center?
Yeah, I just think he's been really coming on. We've been a 2-headed monster, and I hope now 3-headed, because I think Luke's coming on. So it's nice to be able to have 3 guys and kind of come in and play that position. But I just thought the timing was right. Matt has played really well. We had gotten off to some slow starts in some games, and I just thought the time was right to give it a shot. I credit Titus. I talked to him about it. I said, hey, you're still going to play. You're still going to get your minutes. I just want to take a look at this. You're not being punished. I just want to see maybe getting Matt out there to start the game, what it would look like. And I thought both guys approached it really well. And it's fun to see Matt's confidence grow. He's a guy who's been kind of laying in the wings for a couple years, and having to play against two really good players and Pete and Ryan Young, and learning and getting better and being on a scout team and all those kind of things. And now, that's what's fun about college basketball a lot. Guys move on and then you get your opportunity. And the thing I like is he's just being him. He's doing what he does well. He's protecting our basket. He's physical. He's rebounding. He's blocking shots. And he's getting better, finishing around the basket. He's given us a lob threat, which is something we do a lot of pick and rolls, with Boo and Chase, which rightfully so. They're our two top guys offensively. And when you have that lob threat, that guy that can roll to the basket and score at the rim, it really makes it hard to guard.
Hey, Coach, look at a little bigger picture. This team is really transformed into a defensive team, right? You're one of the best in the country, an elite defensive team. How did that happen? How do you make that transformation in the space of a year?
Yeah, I really credit the players, quite honestly. I think, and I went out, I wanted to continue to get better in that area. I thought the last couple of years we were really improved offensively. If you look at our numbers, we became kind of an offensive, but we were losing a lot of games, I thought, because we weren't getting the stops we needed, and we needed to get a little grittier. We needed to get a little tougher on that end. We needed to be a little bit better. And, went out and hired Coach Lowry, who was one of the best defensive minds in the country. That was by design. I knew what he could bring us and some of his ideas. I'd always admired the way his teams with Coach Weber had played at Illinois and at Kansas State. So he's brought some really good ideas to the table, but really it's the mindset of the players. I think we looked around the room when we started this thing in the summer and we said, guys, how are we going to win? What's going to be the formula for us to be a winning team? And, we lost a lot of offense off of last year's team. We knew we had good players. We believed in what we had in the room, but we felt like if we were going to be a team that could really compete this year in the Big Ten and really make a jump and have a chance to do the things we want to do, that we would have to be a lead on that end. And the players have really bought in since day one. I mean, the attention to detail with game plans, the things that we've tried to do, we've tried to be a little bit more aggressive at times. I think we're forcing some more turnovers because of that. But again, I think it's a collective effort, but mostly on the leadership of the team. Give those seniors a lot of credit. Boo, Robbie, and Chase. Those guys really want to win, man. And I'm so proud of those guys for staying the course. And guys are coming along with them. They're leading the team well. We got a long way to go. We have a lot of games ahead of us, but to see these guys play the way they did, that's why I got a little bit in the game. When we went on that run, I got a little bit fired up with the crowd because you see what these guys are doing, and we want that support. Because these guys they're playing with their hearts out there. They're playing together. Like, they're a really fun team to watch. And, hopefully as we continue to play games, we get our students back in January, that we can get Welsh Ryan, to be that home court atmosphere that we're going to need once we get into the conference.
Talk about the conference too, and Mo and Javen on the DePaul roster. You're going to see plenty of guards, forwards,
Sure.
and scorers going forward.
Sure.
How do you use this as a learning experience to prepare for those future games?
Yeah, no, I think in our whole non-league, we've had we've played against terrific players. Those two guys for sure. We played Darius McGee at Liberty, one of the top guys, the guys at Auburn, Pittsburgh, the guys they threw at us. So, I think we've played a lot of games where, we've seen different kinds of players. We've seen different kinds of guards, different kind of wing forwards. Watching film, like I was really scared about those two guys. I watch, both Javen and Mo. You watch them play what they did at Loyola, what they did at Minnesota early in the year. Some of those games. I watched the Samford game where they made 18 threes. So I'm like, man, we're gonna have to really defend. So all of these games in the non-league, you want to win them, and they help build your resume. But hopefully they prepare you, for what you're going to see, as we get into the Big Ten here in a couple weeks.
The game with DePaul has been canceled for the past 2 years due to COVID. What did it mean to you to finally get this game played and for it to be such a big win?
Yeah, I mean, it's a game I've always wanted to play. Ever since I got here, it was on the schedule. We played for my first year. Had a really excruciating loss at the buzzer. Billy Garrett hit a shot. I'll never forget it. He went length of the floor and made a layup at the buzzer. As coaches, you always remember the ones you lose, more than the ones you win. But I just think it's a great game that needs to be played. It's too low. We've always kind of set it up where it's right before Christmas. We've had really good atmospheres when we've played either, at Allstate and now at Wintrust, which is a great event, great venue, 2 local teams, one in the Big East, one in the Big Ten. I just think it's a game that makes sense for fans, for the programs. And I know we're signed on to play a lot of years and we haven't had a chance to play the last 2 years, and our guys like Boo and those guys, remember their freshman year, we lost a tight game out there. We had been winning the whole game and they kind of walked us down and beat us in the last 5 minutes. And I know for Boo and for Robbie in particular, those 2 guys, Chase didn't play that night, but I know this was a game they really wanted because they felt like we had let one get away. So I love where it's positioned. I love playing it right before Christmas. It's kind of a great time, for both of us to kind of have a high level non-conference game before we get back into conference play.
Any more questions for Coach Collins?
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
We're joined by Chase Ardee and Ty Berry. For any questions?
Chase, you think that was the best game of your career?
No, I don't. I think as a team we came out and did what we had to do, but my teammates found me. I had open shots, and then we got the dub.
Yeah, Chase, you played against Gibson today, and obviously he's like you, veteran guard, one of the better guards in around the country. You came into the game, having the kind of games you had in the season. How did you be able to kind of stop him, but then kind of also be able to attack offensively against the ball?
I don't think it was just me. It was definitely a team type of thing. We switch a lot, so even if I'm coming out guarding somebody to start the possession, I'll probably be guarding somebody completely different by the end of possession. So I really think it was a team effort. We focused on helps and shrinking the gaps and making them take tough shots, and it worked for us today.
Chase, you had 5 steals, and Ty, I believe you had 2. How does your defensive intensity and forcing those turnovers, how does that feed into offense and just in general to a game like this?
I feel like this season overall, we've really taken pride in our defense and our effort just all around on defense. And I feel like for us being aggressive on defense has really been a staple for us because we're able to get more steals and we're able to get out and transition and play faster and ultimately just get easier buckets that way on the defensive end.
I think definitely some of Ty's steals to me. I don't think I have 5. Ty definitely had more than just 2.
How do you guys buy into this defense? Your coach just talked about Coach Lowry coming in during the summer, kind of changing the path of that. How have you guys bought into that defensive scheme?
I think Ty just hit on it. We all kind of just, embraced it. And, a lot of the stuff that we do now is very, very different than what we've done in the past. But, it works. Like, it really does work. Coach Lowry has won at a very high level, and he's very adamant about the things that we do. And it proves results. So, you can't really fight what works.
Any more questions? All right, that'll wrap us up for today.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.